Okay, good evening. This is Dee from H&D Abroad. Thank you so much for joining today. Apparently, it is a very popular day and time to go live. So I want to say thank you for joining today. I am Dee, and this is my Self-Care Thursday. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My husband and I are sharing with great transparency our move abroad process. So we are live uh, at other times talking about the travel part, but there is a component that most folks don't share, and that is all the internal things and the things that you personally prepare for as you are making your way from your home country to living abroad. One of those things for me was solo travel. So I did not travel a lot growing up, and definitely not going out of the country. As a matter of fact, my first trip out of the country was when we went to get our residency in Mexico. Even though I had been to Tijuana in college, and so I am brand new to international travel. I am brand new to solo travel. But what I am finding is that married women are struggling with, should I continue my travel as a solo traveler after I've gotten married? So I'm making connections on this topic, and I have found a sister that I cannot wait to introduce and share with you. I want to say hello this evening. Hello, Dr. Linda. Hello, the Tiffany Marie. Hello, hello. Hey, Ahazuda. Yes, 2010. Serge, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Nicole. Good evening. So this is a topic that is near and dear to me. If you are interested in moving abroad, if you're interested in connecting with like-minded people who are centering travel for self-discovery and for joy, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you are alerted when we go live. So I just want to, without further ado, say hello to my sister. Now, you all understand, I have mentioned many of our guests make sacrifices to go live. And this is a sacrifice because right now in England, it is midnight.
Nice.
But a yes was brought my heart joy. So I want to introduce Jace to you. If you are not familiar with her channel, she is a part of the Exodus Summit community. And I watched her first video and said, this is my heart sister. So introduce yourself, introduce your channel to our audience.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jace and Dee. Thank you so very much. I feel so honored to be here. I watched many of your videos. You interviewed so many wonderful sisters. So I feel really honored and really like what you're doing, the work that you're doing with your husband, Herman. So I'm Jace. And I call myself Jay's nomad here on the internet because I'm really a nomad at heart. I was born in Gabon, which is a small country in Africa, Central Africa. And then I grew up in Switzerland and then France. So I lived in 7 countries altogether. I traveled as an expat before with my husband. I've been married for 26 years, by the way, and we have 2 daughters. And what else? I'm currently living between the UK and Cameroon. So, and oh, yes, my channel. So, this is my second channel actually. I have a French channel as well that I started almost 2 years ago. And but on that channel, I was not authentic. I was hiding. I didn't want people to see my face. So I thought, let me start this channel where I'm really me, Jay's, a 50 years old woman. So, and my channel is really, I really loved when you sent me the title, the poster, African woman solo traveler. The
Mhm.
African was very important to me. And when I saw that, I had to honor it and wear my African
You
stuff
all
today.
see, we are honoring, and that was
Yeah,
really what when I reached out to you, I've been wanting to find a connection point, and when you said something on your channel, and I said, she's married too, and she's
yeah,
traveling solo. So that is, oh, Mama Stephanie. I'm calling her
yeah.
Mama
I
Stephanie.
know. I call
Hello.
Stephanie the godmother.
Yes,
Like,
she is the
she is the
godmother.
godmother. And yeah. So, oh, I would like to point. I was like, Dee is actually wearing the fabric of our wedding, traditional wedding today. I almost wear that same fabric. So I was really touched when you came on and with that dress. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I I am in a lot of solo travel groups for women and for Black women. And something that continuously comes up is I'm married. I have a history of solo travel. I traveled solo when I was dating my partner. Um, should I continue this? I've been married, a year or two. And I was like, I want to continue to massage this topic with other women. I have shared my solo travel journey and how house sitting has given me the ability to do that in a way
Mm.
that's really authentic to me. But I knew I was not alone. And that is because I'm a part of a community of, over 13,000 Black women, Black married women, single women, and we're all doing this. So to find Jace, I reached out and said, would you mind coming on to talk to my audience about solo travel? You said, I, as an African married woman, this topic is important to me. And I'd like for you to share the how you're adding that on top of your solo travel journey.
Yeah, thank you. For me, it was very important when you approached me about that subject, traveling as a married woman, but as an African woman, there's a little bit of a difference there. Because being a married woman in Africa, you have a lot of expectation and obligation. Marriage is something that's very sacred in Africa. I was talking to you about the traditional wedding. Your family is actually giving you to your husband family, and your family received the drowsy, like the dot, I don't know how to pronounce it very well, gift. You are given to your husband family, so you have a role to play in your husband family. So being married is an important title in Africa. Young girls are raised to very young to cook, to look after the house, to become good wives later.
Mhm.
So for me, who grew up in Europe, and so in 2015 we came back to Africa to build there because we want to be there for retirement. It will be
Yes.
a retirement home at in my husband is from Cameroon. And so when I started to traveling has always been something that I loved doing. I really feel like I'm a nomad. I've lived in so many places, but I never really thought that I could do that as a married woman, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And certainly not as an African married woman, because it's not seen very well to be what does a married woman goes, by herself in
Mhm.
outside. It's not seen very well.
Mhm.
So I had to really push. And so when I came across Stephanie Perry's video, I'm like, my goodness, this woman is living my life. However, but she was not married. But I stayed in that community, and it really encouraged me little by little to have that conversation with my husband. And what I will tell you is, before now, I used to have a page of my travels on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I had a lot of feedback from family member,
Was
negative feedback, criticism, like, I'm wasting my husband money, and why am I traveling, and what do I find with traveling instead of building and doing. You have to understand that a lot of African countries are really young, right?
Mhm.
And people are more into building, wealth for the next generation. And
Yes.
so for me to travel around the world by myself is not seen very well. It's not the quality of a good African woman. So I had to push through a lot of resistance, criticism, of me wanting to go out there by myself. At first, it was difficult with my husband, because to let me go, he had concerns,
Mhm.
and but with a lot of communication, he understood that is something that I really love. I love going there, out there. And he was not always willing to travel because um he had other preoccupation. He's building a business in Africa, and a lot of his time and is going there. But we agree with a lot of communication that, well, that's something that I love to do, and we just make it work. And he's today is my biggest supporter, even against, like, if the family will come toward me and complain about me going outside there and wasting money, and why would a married woman walk by herself? They all think, maybe you do something wrong, but we trust each other, right? And so,
You have opened up so many aspects of the conversation. So I want to start with, your story is, before you were married, did you travel?
yes, definitely, we always travel because you know, born in Gabon, moved in France, Switzerland. As a kid, anyway, I was always moving around a lot.
Yeah.
I'm even that person where if I stay 3 months a place, I will change the curtains. I had curtain and decoration, so I feel like I'm elsewhere. During the lockdown, my goodness, I was becoming crazy. That wall behind, I made it. I made the same one upstairs. So I often just try to change things around me because I need to be moving all the time. So that has always been in me. Um,
So you marry your husband. Do you all travel together? Did you how did because it's not just at the marriage. I mean, like, he had to know this was a part of you.
yes. Well, let's say we met in France, right? We were like 22. I think I was 22. It was 24, something like that. And so we lived there for 2 years after our wedding. And
Mhm.
so I told him we should be moving because I visited England. We visited England together. And I felt that England was a place where we could do better, for
Mhm.
our jobs, etc. So I convinced him to have, like, see with his work if we could have um, um, if he could have a contract in England.
Yeah.
And so after a while in England, the same thing happened. I was already bored of being at the same place. So I told him, can you find something else? So, and he did. And we went to Bahrain, and we went to Dubai. We traveled a lot as expats, as a family. And we
Mm.
also visited places. We went to India, Australia. My husband was a consultant, actually. So he did travel a lot for his work. And so the benefits of that is, if we couldn't, maybe move with him because it was maybe a short contract, we would at
Yeah.
least go and visit. And
Yes.
so traveling has always been part of our family. But
Yes.
at some point, my husband stopped traveling because he was not a consultant. He had now a different job.
Mhm.
So, and he was content because he had seen the world. But for me, at some point, I was a lot with the kids. There's a lot of places where he was going, and I couldn't travel because I was looking after the kid.
Right.
So once the kid were now the adult, the 21 and 26, I have the itch for a while now to go, but he was not interested. I was like, and I couldn't go anywhere. But I'm like, am I going to wait on until he's ready to go? And I told him, I can't anymore. I have to do it. I have to travel by myself. And it was difficult at first, but it was very important to me. So
I'm going to put a pin in that because I'm coming back to that. But the you've said a couple of things about your husband that um, I think resonate with what I picture as a good man. This is someone who
yes,
recognizes you as a as an individual
yeah,
that has needs, desires, and doesn't feel threatened, doesn't feel that you are trying to recognizes that you have you are fulfilled in a variety of ways and that it should not be centered on just that person. That's huge. That takes a lot of trust and confidence that is built over time, right? I mean,
absolutely.
both of us have been married over 20 years. You got to massage that. You build that trust. You have those conversations, but you also mentioned, because I put up Nicole's statement about very being African men being very patriarchal, um, and that even if there is an agreement between you, there are friends, family members, colleagues, other people that may have that same mindset that now he may be in agreement with you, but may have to now stand as a defense, with other people who are questioning. If you could give some tips
Yeah.
for conversations that you would have with your partner, what would some of those be?
The first thing I will tell you is I don't know if it's like my husband is definitely a very good man. He's a good person. And so I'm very grateful for him, for allowing me because as an African, I've been in contact with so many women when I was living full time in Cameroon. The women that are selfless, that really the caregivers, they don't have anything for themselves. That's their role, the being married is the destination. So the thing I have with my husband is we both grew up in France. Although he's an African man, he has both culture. So
Mm-hmm.
the conversation is a lot easier with him. I would not, although, my channel is really to encourage for other African women to see that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
They can have that conversation, but I will be cautious about that. If it's a man that is a typical African man living in Africa and who has not traveled, the conversation is going to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was in Cameroon, these women, even going on a weekend is something that they had not done. They have to seek permission from their husband. I took them around and they were so happy, but they couldn't do that on their own. So it took us time with my husband because he had also the pushback, as you said, from his own family, from his own the people around him, because that's not the role of a wife. An African wife doesn't do what I'm doing. A typical, respected wife doesn't go around by herself with her husband. We have to talk and we have to really discuss what's important for us. We
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of trust between each other. And what I'm very grateful as well is he will defend me on the front of his family. At first, it was hard. Oh, it
Mm-hmm.
was really hard for him. But he saw that it's something that was really vital. And it is. Traveling is something that I love doing. And so he would talk to his family. And I've seen him putting himself between whoever would want to come and say something to me, right? Like you're wasting your husband money because a woman cannot work, of course, and earn money. That's beside the point. But hey, right?
Right.
So and also an advice really would be to every wife know who they married,
Mm-hmm.
right? every wife know who they married, so you have to approach the subject with your husband and make him understand that that's something that is very important to you to do, and what can you put in place for him to be comfortable with the idea of you traveling. And also maybe start small. As Dr. Linda that's online right now was saying, sometimes she was going on a spa day, she called, going in a hotel by herself. I did that
Yeah.
too, right?
Yes.
Starting small, maybe doing some trip, just a few hours here and there, and they build up with time. I started traveling with my daughters, by the way. No way. Hi. Hello. Stephanie Perry is in the house. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So, oh my goodness, I lost now. I'm
No, so
confused.
so you were making incremental trips. So
Absolutely.
not out of the country first, but a hotel with your daughters. You were so that you could get both of you all could get used to the idea
The
of
idea.
time away.
Exactly. And that I
Yeah.
started traveling with my daughters alone, because then I was not alone. I was with my daughters. So
Yes.
I started a few years, we traveled with my daughters. Then I actually really started traveling by myself just 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
I started, and it's also, I would put that on Rashida, leave them behind. She keep she keep repeating that, leave them behind. And
I know it.
that, that made me a little bit more comfortable. The first time I left, it was hard for Serge, because he needed, not because he didn't want me to go, but because it was, it was protective,
Yes.
um um f- for
For
me.
safety.
For
Yes.
safety, exactly. So he
Yes.
needed to check that, I know where I'm going, where I'm staying at the hotel, is it safe, etc. So it was really for safety measure. And
Mhm.
once I've done the first trip, the second one is like, but you were already gone last year, Yeah. So little by little, I keep pushing to the point that now, I want to travel for a year by myself and go to South America. But it took time. It took, I don't know, it took 10 years of conversation, of little by little going on a weekend there, And so, yeah, to this point, where now we're very comfortable with each other. We've been, come on, almost 30 years together. We trust
Yes.
each other. You know that when I go alone, I am safe. I'm taking precaution for myself, so that's fine. And now for the family and the people not being comfortable with an African woman traveling alone, that's it has nothing to do with us.
I there's you have laid out so many things. So we have shared on our channel. My husband and I have been um, we've been together 31 years. It's not just the years, it is the intentional conversations that you have. First with yourself. I need
Yeah,
X. Okay. And what I've been able, it's like with children and work and home and really being focused on growing financially as a couple, trying to get to know this partner that you have. Like, it's almost like parts of me felt like I put in a dormancy. So they were dormant while I was taking care of our children growing up. We were homeschooling. I mean, like, when you are a
yeah,
parent, the way a lot of us parent, you really go in deep, which means you leave parts of yourself untouched. As our children got older, especially as they moved on from high school to college, it started my time got to be free. I started looking around to, what do I want to do with that time? And so if you are not sharing, and this is my tip, if you are not sharing with your partner, hey, I'm on a discovery path, and that the better I know myself, I want to share what I'm learning with you, and that I'm encouraging you to do the same. Because I will never forget when it was right after our third child was born. And I turned to my husband at, see, I think I might have been 31, 32. And I said, I'm not the 26-year-old that you married.
Wow.
I was like, because I can see the change. 3 babies in 5.5 years, you change a lot. And I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I feel something and I need to tell you. And so keeping in touch with yourself and then sharing that with your partner should not be, it shouldn't be a surprise. And so recognizing that you may need to spend some time over periods of time sharing that is not a slight. It doesn't mean that your partner doesn't care or love you, or that you need to leave them because immediately they can't get on board with what your needs and desires are. I'm invested in this person, not just my legal relationship with you as a married person. So let me tell y'all why. Because Jace is on her channel saying, what was the first one about your husband? I mean, about marriage? She's talking the truth about what it means to be married on. She, in addition to all the other beautiful things, she's telling a lot of truth about what is marriage, what it means to be to partner not just yourself, but your hopes and dreams for yourself and for who you all are as a couple. When I can't be true to myself, because this is, I think you have maybe about 4 videos where you're telling about the marriage. Come on, tell us a little bit about that series. What that brought that up? Because we're continuing on this solo travel journey, but we're talking about this evolution of a relationship.
Absolutely. Earlier you were talking as how at 30 you already saw the change and you could have those conversations with your husband. For me, it came a lot later. I was really, I don't know, I lost completely myself in my role of wife. And as I was telling you about the role of a wife in Africa is to serve a husband, you know. And so I was behind my husband for everything. I was not questioning my needs or my want. It was, building in Cameroon, doing the business, what he needed, and also looking after the kids. I was not in the picture at all. And someday, I don't know, I woke up maybe at 40, 45, and I had enough of everything. I had enough. I didn't want to serve anybody. I didn't want my kid to ask me anything. And I wanted to divorce. Because for me, I didn't have any understanding of being married and wanting your own thing. It was one or the other. So I had to do a lot of research online, to see what was happening. I even went so far as looking at polyamory and all of these things, people living different lifestyle of marriage. I studied so many things around to find a way to be me, wanting what I want for myself and being married at the same time, because we have a beautiful partnership. And it doesn't mean that because we have different, we don't have the same needs when it comes to leisure, that is the end of it. You can't throw, 20 years of marriage and of a good partnership because we don't have the same leisure. We don't, because that's what it is, isn't it?
Yes.
It's true that it's very important to me to travel, but that's just a hobby of mine. It's something that's important to me, but it's not all, right?
Yes.
My life is more than that. And I needed to find a way with my husband to marry both, me Jay's the nomad who want to go everywhere by myself and still be married with him, without divorce being the only answer. So that's what I'm talking about. And marriage, my goodness, is one of the hardest thing. It's a beautiful thing, but it is hard because as you and I, we got married and very young, right?
Mhm.
So the more at 20, you're not the same as 30, at 40, and you have to adjust every time, right? With your partner. So, and you're growing at, your needs and wants to change as well. That what happened with my husband. I was with him 100% to build and do things in Cameroon, but at some point I felt restricted because me, Chase, in Cameroon does not exist as a person. I'm a wife. I have
Yes.
obligations, and I'm not free to do exactly what I want to do, so it's different for me to be here in the UK and have that conversation, and me in Cameroon, it's not the same conversation that I will have with you,
Mm.
right? Because
Yes,
there
yes.
I have more obligation, but we really find a way to, and put all of this together, and so I can be sometime in Cameroon, do my obligation as a wife there, and when I'm here, I'm free and I do whatever I want to do, and it works. But yes,
So,
my
so there's
yes,
culture, there is relationships, there's communication, this is a multi-layered process because, you can, make peace with yourself. You can be in the Exodus Summit community where we are pro women,
oh,
we are pro self-determination, we um, we are powerful and can do things on our own. Um, and I take all of that in, but at the same time, it's like, where do you land in in the life you are living? So I can take all of these big concepts, but then when I have to live it, like I got to look around and say, what, as much as I want to be out late at night, and I'm saying this because I'm on a house sit right now, and I will get on a bus and be in the city till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning by myself. Will I do that and make my partner worried? I have to temper that because I respect my partner. I respect our relationship. And so there's a push pull in that. And you have to find your medium.
absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, I thank the community Exodus Summit because that community gave me courage. You know, I think I've been to 2 or 3 of the Exodus Summits,
Nita?
meetup,
Yes.
and seeing these women living their best life, yeah, bopping around, doing house sit. I didn't think it was possible for me. I didn't think it was possible for me at all. But by listening to you all talking and sharing your experiences, gave me strength, to really have these hard conversation with my husband and say, this is what I'm doing. And I let him whenever I went to the meetup, I share with him, sorry, all the information, so what Exodus Summit is about.
Yes.
And so I think at some point it was like, you listening to these women again?
Okay, so let's go ahead and tell the truth on that, because my husband was trying to figure out, because the timer will go off. I get the text message, I'm going live. Stephanie says, I'm going live in 10 minutes. And I listen. And so it was like me, my husband, and Stephanie Perry on Saturday morning.
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah,
because I felt like, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was literally using it as a second layer of, I'm really serious about moving deeper into this travel journey, because what I have found is I need quiet time. Now,
Mm.
We have only one child left at home. My husband works, I work from home. And so I have time alone, but I need quiet time. And I feel like how I travel and where I go touches that. I've always loved quiet well before I met my husband, and it didn't go away. When I turned 50,
Yeah.
when I turned 50, I'm just going to tell you, if you're not ready, 50 is going to freeze some things inside you. It's going to open some things up for you where I've been leaning in for everybody else. I've got more years behind me than I anticipate may be in front of me. And now is the time. I don't have the leisure of saying, 5 years when, my money looks right. It's got to be, no, now. It's now. I need to move now. So what is, okay, so let me tell you all. Jace didn't just go to Cape Town. Jace was like, I'm throwing up two fingers. I'm about to travel. And you did about a month travel before, went to the meetup, and then did some weeks after. Because I was
Yeah.
like, what? Like, is she going to go home? Like, what's happening here?
Exactly. I stayed 1.5 months. And there's something that you say, being 50, I don't know. It's like you earn like a superpower. You're
Yeah.
so assertive. And that's also what helped the conversation, because um it couldn't be another way. And I needed to be by myself and do what I wanted to do.
Yes.
And so, but I also, sorry, I'm just going to go left and right, but I've shared with my husband a lot about a video that I find about perimenopause, because I
Yes.
think it also play a role in wanting to really reconnect with yourself, being alone, and really doing a self discovery. Because as you said, being married, you always lose a lot of women, sorry, lose themselves into
Yes.
the role of being a mom and a married woman.
Mhm.
For me, I was a shadow of my husband that did not exist, as I told you. So I don't know, but it started at 45. I was 45, and like that's when I really, I don't know, I needed to be by myself. I wanted
Mhm.
time for me. And I was telling them, I prepared them for 5 years. I say, when I will be 50, I'm gonna be gone. When I was 50, my kid were singing that and laughing at me all the time because I keep repeating. And
Yes.
when I turned 50, I did my first big solo in West Africa. I went in 5 countries. I lost myself in Gambia, in a place that I didn't even know where I was. My husband called me, "Where are you?" I said, "I don't know. I took a bus. I'm somewhere. I'm crossing with a ferry." He had to look on Google, on Google to find exactly the location.
You are out here, ma'am. She is outside.
Exactly. And the same after the meetup, I went to Namibia. It was not on the plan, by the way. I had spent so much money that I ended up having to go in a hostels. There, I was petrified, but it was a very good calling because I met a lot of young people that were traveling. So they taught me about a lot of different things. So I traveled with this group of young people. So we took the bus, 24 hours journey to go to Namibia. I didn't tell my husband straight away because he knew that I was taking the plane to go places. And he didn't even know I will go all these places. He knew I was going to Cape Town and then the rest. And then after that, I did a journey by 26 hours by train where we stay stuck for 9 hours because there was an incident. And even that, it took me time to explain to him that, taking train in Africa is not very common because the train don't work very well. And so he wanted me to fly. But I was so much into the adventure. I don't know. It's like I'm becoming 20 again. And so, Yeah, and then I end up in Zambia and all of that. I was just doing a bus trip, 24 hours. I didn't think I could do that, but it was so fun, so liberating to be out there. But I was also with a group of young people, and it was really amazing. And to be honest, I didn't want to go home. I love my husband, my kids, but I didn't want to go home. And I called my husband, like, oh, there's a lot I haven't seen. And he said, "You're taking the plane. You're not extending that trip again. You're taking the because you know me so well. I did the same in West Africa when I'm like, oh, there's a lot of things that I want you to do, etc. He's like, no, 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 you take the plane.
That's right.
You're not changing the date again."
Well, I want to say, as we've talked about the 50-year-old, I don't know what, there was something that broke open at about 40, but nothing prepared me for what my body and my brain needed for me to move full force into until I turned 50. And I'm here for it. I'm here. What I'm saying is I am open to how the universe is propelling me forward. And I'm so grateful to have other women that are behind me that, that I can, hey, I need a little bit of that 20-year-old, energy, insight, excitement.
Yeah.
But I'm also super motivated in the Exodus Summit community. We have women that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s that have befriended me and have said, baby, if I could have done this 20 years ago, what the community taught me is it's not too late. Whatever point you are on your journey, and that when you are able to be quiet, you can hear yourself. And the more, and when I say yourself, I'm talking about your intuition. I'm talking about, to hear what your body is saying to you, what your brain is asking you to do. And some of that you're ready for, and some of it isn't. And you need time to work through that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also not gonna lie. You talked about perimenopause and menopause. Let me tell you this: this solo travel is keeping marriages together.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, there's something that I wanted to say about that I forgot. It's that it's important to educate our husband, because at
Yes.
some point I thought I was becoming crazy. I was really, one day I'm happy, the next day, I'm hot. I'm sorry, I'm going to be very, I had to sleep by myself because I wake up with those night sweat, and I don't know, I just needed my personal time.
Mm-hmm.
And so my husband couldn't comprehend at first. I couldn't even understand that myself. What was happening to me? Like, am I
Exactly.
becoming crazy? So I had to learn a lot about perimenopause. And when I understood what I was going through, I shared a lot of video with him. It's like, oh, now I understand. And it makes things easy for us. He understands that I'm going through that period, that, being together is not something that, perimenopause bring you a lot of different things. And
Yes.
it's important to educate our husband, because then they can be more understanding,
Yes.
they can be more behind us, and it will avoid friction, because none of us understand what's happening. It's
Mhm.
like my wife is becoming crazy. I think I'm becoming crazy as well, but now
Yes.
we have an answer for it, so it makes things a lot more easier. And yeah.
I I see the ladies in here talking about solo travel saving marriages. So I'm just being
Oh,
honest.
yes, Nicole, absolutely. It
Oh, oh,
does.
Tiffany.
It does.
Tiffany
My
says her
husband
husband
calls
calls
it
it men
men on
on
pause.
pause.
It's so true. It's so true. Because when you come back, oh, we talk so much more with my husband
Yes.
when I'm traveling, you know,
Yes.
every day, more than when we are in the same house. And it's more, I don't know, attentionate. It definitely saves marriages. And when you come back, you're so happy to see each other, and you have a lot to share. So definitely. they,
Yes,
they
yes.
need to let us go and go, as often as possible, because we are better wives and more happier when we come back.
I promise you, it brings a little bit of that dating element back. I have
Absolutely.
separate experiences. I have energy. I have, yeah, it's definitely new. It's new.
Yeah, even the kids sees that, right? The kids are like,
Absolutely.
"Oh, mommy, you look so, I don't know, you glowing." Uh, i- Yeah, that's my daughter told me when I came back, even over the phone when we were, on WhatsApp. She's like, "Mommy, you're glowing. You look so happy. I haven't seen you
Mhm.
like that for a long time." So yeah, it benefit them as well, definitely.
Our bodies, our health. Um, I have shared on this channel about health struggles I've had, am having, um, and you have, before you went to Cape Town, shared on your channel as well. And I think that was when we first started making contact.
Yeah.
Um, was about that, and you were determined. You were like, if I can find a way for my doctors to figure out, am I
Yeah.
okay to make this trip? I'm going to go. How are you making peace with your body? Because we're not 20. I'm not even trying to be, I don't want the body I had as a 20-year-old. But I know that there are hurdles at 50 that I do have to be aware of, and your story is telling me I'm not going to let anything hold me back.
Completely. I have arthritis that came, with age. And so before going to Cape Town, I was not sure I was going to travel because I couldn't walk.
Mhm.
For a few months before, I was sitting to do the dishes, to cook. My back was hurting. I would walk 2 minutes and I would be on the floor. I had to go to emergency. But it was extremely important for me to go to the meetup because this community has done a lot for me. I'm
Amen.
happier being in this community. So I was ready to go no matter what, even if I had to go on the wheelchair. I wanted to be there. So I traveled with so many medicine, so much medicine. But once I arrived, there's something with arthritis is that the cold makes it worse. Living in the UK makes it worse. So when I traveled in sunny South Africa, things got better.
Mhm.
And so how it's you really have to accept the body that you are in. And the thing with us black women, when I was in Cape Town, I see these women, they say they're 50. I'm like, when
Where?
you
50
look at
where?
them, exactly. I saw they were like my daughters, they're 20, but they're 50, really. So what you look at in the mirror doesn't really conciliate with where your body is at the moment. So you have the knees that hurt, and for me, I have also a weight problem. And at the moment, I'm really working to respect the body I'm in. There's
Yes.
a lot of things, gentle exercise. It's not anymore about doing like, harsh exercise to lose weight. So I'm really taking things easy and I'm embracing that I'm 50. I may not have, may not see that when I look at myself in the mirror, but my body knows
Yes.
I'm 50 because every day when I wake up, my knees remind me
Trust me, I try to
that,
jump up, and that little dizzy spell tells me, come on, slow down, sis.
yeah,
But what what I'm wanting to allow this part of the conversation to highlight is we're going we're going with arthritis, we're going with endometriosis, we're going
yeah,
with high blood pressure, we're going with cholesterol issues, we're going. I've never been there before and I'm fearful. We are pressing forward in spite of, but responsibly, like you said,
yeah,
with respect to the body that we're in. And our spouses know the challenges that we have. and that acknowledgement that I'm going to do, if the doctors ask me to, be off my feet, a certain amount of hours, that I'm going to do that, so that they know that we're safe, that the prompts that they would be giving to us, that we're mindful of taking care of ourselves. Because I want to come back. I want to make it back to my family. And I want them to know that I'm committed to that. It sounds like, you're making this extra effort, right? Like, you got to do all that to be able to travel. Does that picture of the effort of doing those things, does it feel worth it to you?
Definitely. I mean, to have to make all the effort to be able to travel. I mean, for me, there's no other options, to be honest with you. We are where we are. We have to accept where we are right now in life. And so just make the best of it. So for me, going out there, regardless of me having knee problem, back problem, or perimenopause playing up, it still worth it for me to make that effort. I don't know if I really answered to your question,
Yeah,
Dee.
I,
I, I,
that
I don't.
you've brought it together. This conversation is really, it's worth it. Everybody's going to have hurdles, whether it's financial, to travel solo, to travel at this part of your life, that you're going to have to push through some kind of barrier. I've never been somewhere before. I don't know these ladies. If you're going to a meetup, you're going to
Yeah,
have to cross some bridges to get to this new place. And I think Jason and I are here to say it's worth it. I can see on the
100%.
other side, yes, I mean, there was a lot of discomfort. When we're talking about stuff is happening, like, I don't know why I'm angry today. I don't know why I'm irritable today. Why does your breath smell? Like, I know you brushed your teeth, but something else got it. When I say, and so there's a point that we're experiencing where you say, okay, I don't understand, but I know I have a need, and it's worth me figuring it out. And then, the bridges that need to be crossed to get you to peace, to freedom, to self-discovery. You're going to have to wind the roads, but it is always worth it. Right now, you are walking on a 30-day challenge. So I'm just going to keep priming you all. I have the information for Jace's channel. Please subscribe. Every day she's walking. Every day she's sharing. The quote you shared yesterday was so beautiful. And it's because you're sharing your journey with all of us who are walking with you. I think I have done like 5 walking challenges because people are just sharing their journey. Why have you decided to do this 30-day challenge? And why are you being so transparent about
Wow.
your challenges and your goals around doing this?
I feel that there's no other way. And, when I was trying to figure what was happening to me, is listening to other women talking about the challenges that gave me comfort. So I felt that it's also my responsibility to do the same and share, to encourage other women. And Dee, by the way, I watched one of your videos where you were walking outside and talking. So that actually inspired me. I was like, I would like to do the same. And and I'm like, let me do a 30-day challenge. But the 30-day was really like a joke. I contacted Stephanie, she's my buddy. We're doing like a wellness journey together. And I'm like, Stephanie, do you think I can do it? I was expecting her to do no, I wanted her to say, no, we should continue to do that. And she's like, yeah, girl, you can do it. I said, oh man, I have to do it now. But I went in without thinking that I was able to do even 3 days. I don't walk outside. I'm not comfortable in my body often to go outside. People
Yes.
looking at me, I don't go to the gym. I'm self-conscious about my body. And so, and also, I'm, how do you call it? I'm an introvert. I have issue with sometimes communicating with people of that social anxiety that came with perimenopause, where sometimes leaving my house, I will stand there for hours, sometimes crying because I'm afraid to leave the house,
Yes.
and that happens a lot. I went to a meetup in London with the Exodus team.
Mhm.
I almost had a heart attack when I arrived in Paddington because there were too many people. I couldn't read the signs. It was there, but I was so panicky. My legs were trembling. I was crying. Somebody came and helped me. I have social anxiety. So going out there walking, this is a challenge for me. And then you meet people, you have to talk with them. And and I'm very good at masking, looking that it's all fine. So sorry, I even I even the question was, so forgive me. What was the question that you asked me? I went on a tangent and I forgot.
Oh, me too. But you were talking about going to the meetup and overcoming those challenges, right?
Yes, but it's every day, it doesn't happen just having social anxiety. It's not something that just goes like that. And that walking challenge is really for me to become healthier. The more we aging, the more I can see signs of a lot of health issue creeping up. And I
Yes.
really need to take responsibility for my health and do something. So I
Yes.
challenge myself, really not thinking that I will do it. And I'm day 16 today. Every day I'm like, at first it was so hard. The first day, when I came back from the walk, I thought I was dying. My husband, what's happening? I couldn't go up the stairs. I was in pain, so much in pain. Day three, day four, it was so hard the next day. But nowadays, I wake up, I put my shoes on, I leave the house. I'm not even thinking about it. And I'm so very proud of myself for. And thank you for all of you. There's Nicole here, there's
Yes.
Amy, Tiffany, Serge, you. So many of you have been sharing me on these books. And it gives you some, I don't know, not just accountability, but having that community that's there for you. It's everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm so proud of you. I said
Thank
that
you.
before we started the live, but to see a Black woman say, I can take care of it. I've taken care of everyone else. It's time for me to care for myself. This is the one body. I have walked hundreds of miles for other folks. Now I need to walk for myself. I've lifted, I've birthed, I have for everyone else. This is the time to center my needs, myself, to be the strongest emotionally, spiritual, physical person that I can be, to lift my dreams up. And I'm so proud, to see how that is evolving for you on your channel. I mean, she was gonna walk in the mud and said, "I'm not gonna walk in the mud." Yes. When I say soldiering on, she is soldiering on, and I'm so proud, to see it and to support it, even going live. So
Oh my goodness. Yes.
this
Yeah.
YouTube, if you have not thought about having a YouTube channel, those of us who consider ourselves introverts, we don't have anything special. It's I felt like what propelled me forward was I have something to say. And I feel like I know I can't be alone. And this community has validated you're not alone with your questions. You're not alone with being proud of yourself. You're not alone with struggling with things that are easy for other people that are difficult for you. And I see that reflected in her in Jace's questions, are you sure you want to interview me on your channel? And see, she's done so well.
I was so scared. Guys, I was ready yesterday. Did we talk about that already? I don't know.
No.
Yesterday I sent a message to D, are we on in 15 minutes? She's like, no, it's tomorrow. Same time. I was ready. I was so stressed. I'm like, okay, I can't do it. I couldn't. Tiffany, my friend, and Amy, they are online right now. And oh, that's another thing. Thank you so much for Exodus Summit, for
Amen.
Rashida and Stephanie
Stephanie,
Perry.
yeah.
These women are, I don't know. I don't know. I'm so grateful for them because Exodus Summit is not just them, it's all that community. Going to Cape Town, I came back with sisters. I
Yes.
came back with friends. You know, I'm talking about Amy, Tiffany, even you being here online. You cheered me up when I was going to Cape Town, send me information about how I could go if I had issue walking, etc. And this is so priceless. And before this summit, the Exodus Summit, I didn't know how to be friend with Black women. You know,
Somebody needs to say it. Come on now. Come
I
on.
didn't
Come on. 'Cause
know.
that
Yes.
has been I've been very vocal about
Yeah.
that. Like, you know, there are questions about acceptance. There have been issues in the past, but greeting each other with loving kindness every step of the way. I've just been so I've been motivated to connect again with the sisterhood
Mhm.
and recognizing how much different my life could have been if I had had this level of community when I was much younger. What would I have discovered for myself? What would I have been able to push forward on that because I don't have those sisters to stand, you know, with me or to be an example before me, where people aren't jealous and people aren't it's not that's not what my experience has been.
The same.
And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for bringing that up as well.
Yeah, definitely, because it's everything. Community is everything, and this community is gold. Honestly, I couldn't have dreamed of a better community. Supporting each other, you know, being there to cheer. It's crazy. And seeing other Black women doing the same thing, because I grew up in a white community, you
Mhm.
know, wherever I've been, I never really had a Black friend.
Yes.
So this was new for me. So I was afraid at first, you know, to not be accepted, etc. But it's, man, it's everything, you know. Seeing these Black women traveling, living the best life. There's Katrina, Michelle, that I also met, who's like, you know, in Sri Lanka. It's just amazing to see all these Black women doing their own thing. I've subscribed to Trusted House Sitter through you, you know, with your link,
I
because
was
I
about
was
to say
watching.
she's coming. I'm telling you, if we don't do anything, we're going to influence and push each other. Don't sit on the sidelines. Jump in, get in. We're here. If you have questions, come back. We're going to do this together. You're going to find somebody to do things together with. Servant teacher Nikki is in the chat now. And I was just like, my sister doesn't know anybody. She got in there, like she's made friends. It's not just Exodus Summit, but I can tell you the world was an unknown. Like I was going into the unknown before. You know, I just knew I wanted to be in different places. Now I can get in there, do a search, and say, "Oh, so and so is in southern Spain or is in a different place in a different city or state in the U.S." And I say, "Hey, sis, I'm going to be in the area. Would you mind a meetup? There is a woman I am meeting in
Yeah,
2 days.
yeah,
She
exactly.
doesn't know me from Sam Hill." And we're gonna meet up because I was just like, you're a baker and I want to meet somebody that's doing culinary arts. And she was just like, as soon as I make, deliver these cakes on Saturday, we're going to meet. That is the community of people that are joining together, just connected off of what Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow are doing. Hey, right there. Yes, we're drinking.
Absolutely, Nicole, completely. Yeah.
Yes. Literally a light in the darkness. If you don't have a community of people, if you're afraid to try a new thing, there are a lot of us that are prioritizing health, that are prioritizing friendships, that are prioritizing travel. Doing a new thing is not novel in this group. We are doing that, and we're doing it consistently and learning from what doesn't work and trying it again. So whether that's a YouTube channel or anything else, representation matters. I want to say thank you for being a well-traveled woman, a well-traveled married woman who is willing to solo travel and share that your marital status, cultural norms, concerns from family and friends are acknowledged, but are not holding you back.
Absolutely. And there's something that you asked me about those walks. The 30 days walk today, I'm more even motivated because I'm planning a trip in South America, and I wanted to be fitter to be there, right? Because being overweight is something that can keep you from doing a lot of things. And I've seen my challenges when I travel to Namibia, Zambia. So yes, I'm looking forward to the next adventure. And as a travel married woman, it's possible. Talk to your partner. It's possible.
Nothing but goodness, nothing but love in the chat. For you. Thank you, Jace, so much. It is past midnight where she is, and she is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, giving love and encouragement to this audience. I want to say thank you to everyone that joined. I see you, Monica J. I see you in the chat. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I am forever grateful for the impact that community is having on me growing and learning and being exposed to. You may think there's only one way to do a thing. This community is showing you there are thousands. Thousands of ways to do a new thing that you don't have to do alone. So I'm glad to have my fellow solo travel married sister with me today. Jace, will you share again? And I've got it in the description. Where can we find you on social media?
Right. Mainly on YouTube. I have Instagram and Facebook, but YouTube is the place where I'm more I manage to be consistent. So I'm just at JaseNomadeTV.
Absolutely. Oh, Winsome. Yes, Winsome. Thank you all. That's another sister I got a chance to meet when I did a house sit in Houston. And so I'm glad to have some positivity to put into the universe because of this connection. Please, you all, if you know someone that would benefit from the conversation that we had today, please like this video, share it with someone. We're here every week going live with different conversations with new partners, new guests, showing you what move abroad, what travel can look like, especially for Black women, for Black couples. We're doing it. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you very much, Steve.